All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you just for a little bit. I was just watching the Lincoln Ware show, and then I looked, and Wyatt said that he wasn't going to be coming on today. So I decided, hey, I got a few minutes. I know I can't go on at 3. I'll be, I got to leave the house around 3:15-ish. So I said, I got a little bit of time. So I'm here. I know it's not my normal time. I said I wouldn't be on today, all of that stuff, but I'm here. Let's see. Let's go through it. Let me say hello to the people who say hello to me. DeAndre Crosby in the house. First right out the gate, good afternoon. Got Jacqueline Carter. Good afternoon, Jacqueline Carter. Tried to shame me earlier today. I don't matter. I ain't mad about it. I kind of like it. Jacqueline Carter in the house. Good afternoon, representing Evanston. Erica Hummons in the house, representing Reading. Good afternoon. Jerica Vaughn. Jerica Van in the house. Good afternoon, Jerica. And Anthony Prosser rounding out the top 5. Good afternoon. Thank you guys for your support. I appreciate you. Tria's in the house. Tria want to know, is this real? This is real, baby. This is real. I don't know why I said it like that. Yes, this is real. Good afternoon, Tria. Got Nick Brown in the house. Good afternoon, Nick. Representing beautiful Blue Ash. Good afternoon. Let me see. There is a wasp, by the way, down here in the. He keep flying over to the studio area. I saw him over in the gym, and he just keep flying over here. So I got my spray, my trusty wasp and hornet killer spray. So if he come back over here, y'all know I don't mess around with them wasps. How they keep getting in here? It's got to be a crack somewhere or a little hole somewhere where they get through and then forget where they got in, and so they can't get out. And Mrs. Livingston, she be trying to help them out. Like, oh, let's just usher him out the door. I'm like, what? That's what they made spray for. Kill him. He ain't got no business in here. It's the law. If you break in somebody's house, they can kill you. It's the law. So, yeah, if he fly back over here, y'all know it's going to take all of my attention away. Because, we are mortal enemies. Where was I? Kim Moore Eberhardt, good afternoon. Let me see. Y'all can let Twin know. It's all right. Tria checked in on YouTube. Got Lamont Jones in the house. Good afternoon, Lamont Jones. Good afternoon. Jack says, what's up, though? Pray for Paris. Maybe I missed something. Why we praying for Paris? Regina Denson Griffin representing Madisonville. Good afternoon. Scott Bain in the house representing West Walnut Hills. Good afternoon. David Herring. Say, what the heck is going on? Man is on at 114. Yeah. You gonna be passed out down there. No, you talking about from this? It don't even have a scent. Yeah, this is like that natural stuff. I mean, sure it has some sort of propellant or something in it, but it's like from the crushed, the oils from a crushed chrysanthemum plant or whatever. I forget what it's called. I guess I could look at the but I'm gonna be fine. There's no scent, no smell, no nothing. It's good. Let's see. Carolyn Smith. Good afternoon, Carolyn. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking out the show. Maria Smith out there in North College Hill, good afternoon. Good afternoon. David says, is this your new time slot? No, I'll explain it again after I finish with the hellos. Melvin Griffin, good afternoon. Melvin says second. All right, Melvin, appreciate you. Iona Bentley out there in Finneytown, good afternoon. Iona Bentley. We got Nikki Carter, representing wherever Nikki's representing. Good afternoon, Nikki Carter. I appreciate you. Terry Coleman, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Diana Huddleston Angel representing Bond Hill at the hairdresser. All right. Tell all the ladies, I'm assuming you can't make that assumption nowadays. Nowadays, you can't make that assumption. It might be some of them dudes there. So tell everybody at the hair salon that the Afternoon Experiment family said hello. Pamela Kinney in the house. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Pamela Kinney, representing North Avondale. All right, let's get into it, because whatever we do, it's got to be quick. Whatever we do has got to be quick, because, again, y'all know I had to get out of here today. And if I had to leave the house going to basically a funeral, a celebration of life thing, I can't be dressed like this. So that means I got to get up, get out of here, and, get showered up again, get dressed, and all of that good stuff. So I'm not sure exactly what time I'll cut the show, but this is going to be a quick one. Now, just again, for the record, I watched the Lincoln Ware show, which I, typically try to do. Like, we got our little whatever, but I still like his show. Like, I'm that type of person. I give credit where credit is due, and it's an entertaining show. So I'm watching the Lincoln Ware show. Lincoln Ware goes off. Then I see Wyatt puts up that he's not going to be doing his show today. He don't want to battle fake outrage. So I'm like, all right, cool. I know I got... Oh, there he is. There he is. Shh. Don't nobody say nothing. Oh, he flew back over to the... He flew away. I don't know why I'm telling y'all, shh. Like, if y'all did say something, and I don't even know that, they be paying attention to what people say. But if he get too close to me, he's dead. But yeah, so Wyatt said he wasn't gonna get on. I have an event to go. I have a celebration of life to go to today, and so I decided I can come on for a few minutes. I won't be stepping on Wyatt's toes. Lincoln is off, and it gives me an opportunity. Let's see. Apparently, somebody on the Citizens Complaint Authority cussed and used the N-word. And that's bad. That's bad. I heard Scotty and Iris saying they want him gone. And I agree with that. Again, I didn't see it, so I don't really have context. I didn't see it, so I don't really have context. But it kind of don't matter what the context is. I'm sorry. Call it a double standard, because it is. And I'm okay with it. You're not going to shame me. It's a double standard. Deal with it. You white, you can't say the N-word. I know a lot of black people feel like, well, black people shouldn't say it either. Okay, I might agree with that, even though I've been known to say it once or twice. But I might agree with you there. But definitely, if you white, you can't say the word. Now, apparently, some people are putting an AR on the end of it. I had never heard that before. Some people throwing an AR, so it rhymes with cigar. I've never heard that part of it. People use it in that way. But, hey, it don't matter. You can't use the A, the ER, or the AR. If you white, just don't say it. If you white, I don't even want you to say that country in Africa that's almost spelled like it. You can't say Niger. If you planning a trip to Niger, you have to say, I'm planning a trip to Africa, to that country that I'm not allowed to say. Just period. Just that. You can't say it. So, yeah, he should be off the Citizens Complaint Authority board. No doubt. Now, I would gladly take his place. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Here's what I've figured out. About Latinos. I would say no to Latinos, even though it's not as hard a no as white people. It's still a no, but it's not as hard a no as white people. Latinos wasn't necessarily the. He went away again. Latinos wasn't necessarily the people, who, especially, because for me, in like the 60s and whatnot, they wasn't necessarily the main people trying to oppress us. So, yeah, it's a no, but it's not as hard a no as white people. But yeah, I here's what I've learned. How do you pronounce it? LaDonna want to know, how do you pronounce it with an AR? I guess it rhymes with cigar. That's what I'm guessing. What's his name? Bill Burwick, whatever. I don't. Burwinkle. I have a theory. Some would say it's a nonsensical theory, like it doesn't make much sense. But there are certain names that are kind of predisposed to racist behavior. If your name got Winkle at the end, you might be a little bit predisposed. I know, that don't make sense. It's just a thing that I feel. It's just one of those things. But yeah, I was about to say, here's what I've learned. In order to get on some of these boards, not just the Citizens Complaint Authority, but on these boards, because a lot of these boards are appointments. That's all about relationships. It's all about relationships. It's not about qualifications. It's not about, a desire to do. It's all about relationships. So you have to be well-connected and well-liked, which disqualifies me on 2 counts. I'm not well-connected, and the people that I'm connected to don't always like me. So this is just pretty much board appointments across the board. Well-connected and well-liked. So I don't necessarily qualify for a lot of these board appointments. Now, I could change some things. Like, I could kiss a little more ass and all of that good stuff. I really could. Like, I could develop great relationships with people. I just don't have it in me to be an ass kisser. I just don't. I don't have it in me to, hey, how you doing? Oh, it is so nice. How's your wife doing? Oh, that's so nice. Oh, And then when they do something, they didn't do anything. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Oh, I want to go play pickleball with you. Oh, yeah, I don't want to go play pickleball. I don't want to know your wife. I don't care how your wife or your kids is doing. I hope everybody doing good. But I don't really care on like a personal level. And you kind of have to be that to get on these boards. Either that or have something that people want. Like if I had 1 million subscribers, I could pick my board and get appointed to it. Because then they would be kissing my behind. Like, hey, we need access to his audience. And so, you're my buddy. Hey, let's go play pickleball. And then I'd be like, I don't want to play no damn pickleball. And they'd be like, that's okay. I don't like pickleball either. But I do want to come on your show and talk about this thing. Okay. So, yeah, I don't think I'll ever be well connected and well liked like that. But I would love to be on like the Citizens Complaint Authority. And I know people think I couldn't be fair, but that's so far from the truth. I'm like the fairest person. Well, I can't say the fairest person. I don't know how fair everybody else is. But I'm like one of the fairest people. Hold on, CK, call me back. Call me back a little later. The phones are not up yet. I got a couple things I want to touch on. Janet says, you don't have to be an ass kisser, believe me. Okay. You do. You got to be well connected and well liked. And for that Citizens Complaint Authority, you got to be pro-police. Now, when I say pro-police, as it was explained to me, like, look, I don't know anybody who's, I mean, I'm sure they exist, but I don't know anybody who's anti-good policing. You know what I'm saying? Police come up, they're polite, they're respectful. And I don't know anybody who's like, I don't like polite, respectful, law-abiding people trying to keep order. I'm sure they exist. I don't know any. To me, that's not being pro-police to be able to say, sure, I want to see, they're humans. I'm pro-human. And if they do their job right, I'm in favor of them doing their job right. To me, that's not necessarily, I'm pro-police. Pro-police to me is police always get the benefit of the doubt no matter what. Oh, he shot somebody and they were not armed and they had their hands in the air. Well, he had to have a reason. No, sometimes they wrong. Police beat somebody down, because they didn't say what they wanted them to say or whatever, the way they wanted them to do it. Well, you should have just did what the police say do. That's pro-police. That's what I'm talking about. And you kind of had to be that. This is what I was told. You kind of had to be pro-police to be on the Citizens Complaint Authority. For real, I'm not even joking. That's what I was told. And y'all know, my good friend, I don't consider him my good friend, but I like Cecil Thomas. But Cecil Thomas did tell me that. We were at the radio station one day. And I was inquiring about getting on the Citizens Complaint Authority. And Cecil Thomas said to me, oh, no, I hear the way you talk about police. You're not pro-police. No, you got to be pro-police to be on Citizens Complaint Authority. I'll make sure you never get on no Citizens Complaint Authority. We was on a break. It didn't happen on air. And I was like, really? He was like, oh, no, you'll never be on the Citizens Complaint Authority. You'll never. So that's what I was told. So, I'm not shocked that you got people on there using the N-word and, anything like that. It's not shocking to me. It is what it is. All right. Let me see. Apparently something happened in Woodlawn with some teens. At a Juneteenth celebration or something like that. Police were there. And I heard a couple of first-hand accounts, and I'll take their word for it. I believe them. Well, the first one, Ozzy said He just saw some kids running. So we need to shut down Juneteenth celebration. Shut it down. I'm like, that's it. You saw some kids running, and that mean we need to shut down. I thought I heard it over here. I thought I heard it. There it is. I knew I heard it. Hold on. All right. He's toast. All right. So running now. Let's cancel Juneteenth. Why? Because apparently teenagers run. And it should be illegal for teenagers to run. Y'all hear him? He over there struggling now. Yeah, shut it down. Shut it down. Like, just cancel Juneteenth altogether. And when somebody asks why, because teenagers run. Teenagers run. Hold on. Oh. Sometimes people don't like stuff I say, and they text me during the show when I say stuff as if that's going to make me take it back or change my mind. The truth is the truth. But yeah, no, teenagers apparently were running, and apparently a few fights broke out. Now, look, I don't want to diminish it. Well, I really do want to diminish it. But based on what I heard from the first-hand accounts of people who called the Lincoln Ware Show, there were teenagers who would just randomly out of nowhere take off running. And can I be honest? We did that when I was a teenager. We did that. And I always thought that it was funny. Now I realize that it could be dangerous. So it wasn't the most mature thing to do. But I always thought it funny that if you look up and a small group of people take off running, everybody take off running because nobody know what happened. That comedians have joked about this for a long time because it's true. And so as a teenager, putting that into practice, it was always kind of funny. And we would just take off running, and then a whole group of people be running, and nobody know what we was running from, but everybody was running. Yes, it's childish. Because guess what? We were children. I don't know that should be illegal. I get it. It's dangerous, potentially. People could get knocked down, trampled, whatever. I understand it's dangerous. But do we really want to make running illegal? Do we really want to tell teenagers, if you run, you're going to jail? Like, come on. Some stuff be, when we think about it, but overall, it's running. It's running. Again, I'm not excusing it. I'm not saying that it's mature, wise, safe. I don't want nobody to go to jail for it, and I don't think we should cancel Juneteenth because of it. But there was another element, apparently, allegedly, according to these first-hand accounts. How did he get down here? He was all the way. You brought it on yourself, bud. You brought it on yourself. You should have just died like any other normal wasp. He's super wasp now. You gonna die? Why are you running around? Just give up the ghost. It is what it is. You broke in my house. I caught you. I used deadly force. And now you're gonna die. It is what it is. How is he still alive? How is he still alive? This stuff normally kills them instantly. This dude done came from all the way up here, flew down here. He on the desk right here, just crawling around. He should be dead. Die already. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't focus. Wait, hold on. He's like the Superman of wasps. Like, okay, he stopped moving. He stopped moving. He was just crawling around like it didn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? He don't crawl around like it didn't hurt. All right. He's not moving. He might be playing possum on me, so I got to keep my eye on him. But there was another element. Apparently some fights broke out. Which is, again, as a teenager, with big groups of teenagers, fights break out from time to time. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that it happens. Apparently, police were there to restore order. So why are people calling for... I really only heard, I think, 2 people call for shutting it down. But why are people calling for shutting down a Juneteenth celebration? Because some kids ran and a few fights broke out. No, the one lady said, well, no gunshots. The people weren't like violent towards other people. Just a few fights broke out. And she even said, if I understood her correctly, when at least one of the fights broke out, people ran to get away from the fight. Now, she said some people were standing around watching, which teenagers again. I remember being a teenager, and if a fight broke out, you had 2 options. Watch the fight, and if it was girls, you know what I'm saying? You're a teenager. You hoping that a breast pop out. Or get away. Sounds to me like those teenagers had 2 choices, stay and watch or leave. Some of them chose to leave, some chose to stay and watch. They're teenagers. What did you do if a fight broke out and you were a teenager? One of those things. But we got people talking about canceling and Juneteenth events and what's wrong with us and all of that kind of stuff. Y'all know I really hate when some of us do that. I really hate that. So it's wild. And apparently some people were dressed inappropriately. Like, that's new. How long have people been dressing inappropriately? Like, come on. Like, sometimes some of us just look for anything to complain about us about. Should more parents, spend more time with their young people at these type of events? Sure. But when you were a teenager, so that's why I keep trying to come back to, like, people keep saying stuff that I don't want to say is completely unreasonable, but it's unreasonable. When you were a teenager, now some of y'all, maybe you were, but when I was a teenager, I didn't want to be going to events with my parents. I had friends. Hey, what y'all doing Saturday? We going down to the Black family reunion. Or as some of them used to call it, the Black. I always hated that. Why are you calling it the Black? How lazy are you to not BFR? Or You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Well, hold on. Maybe Black Family Reunion wasn't around when I was a teenager, but I'm saying there were always events. But I do remember somebody asking me if I was going to the Black. And I was like, the what? You going to the Black? Going to the what? You know, the Black. This went on for a while until I'm finally like, I don't know what you're talking about. The Black Family Reunion. Why didn't you just say the Black Family Reunion? How lazy do you have to be to just call it the Black? It's 2 words. Just finish it. Just finish it. But anyway, now when I was going to stuff, what was the little what was the little concerts? Not little, the concerts. The Swatch Fest or something like, what was that called? Was it the Swatch Fest? I can't remember what it was called, but it was sponsored by Swatch watches. Y'all remember Swatch watches, right? I never understood why they was a thing, but they were. They were a thing. They were just like little rubber, colorful watches, but it was a thing. But we ain't got no tickets, but we going down to the Swatch Fest or whatever it was called. And then my parents would have been like, oh, no, I'm going to escort you down to the... No, I don't want to go with y'all. I got friends. The Fresh Fest. Thank you, Steban. Fresh Fest. And it was sponsored by Swatch watches. But yeah, so it makes sense to me that these young people don't want to go to Juneteenth celebrations with their parents. When you were a teenager, you did not want to go to events with your parents either if you had a group of friends that were going. And I think it was Jerica I just saw, she said, well, we wasn't fighting at the events. Please, fights have broken out. This is the stuff that I don't get. I don't remember going to an event like that when I was young, where there were a large number of teenagers and no fights broke off. I mean, broke off. And no fights broke out. And I just had to say it just so people understand. Again, I lived in Hamilton. I lived in Fairfield. Somebody told me, well, that don't mean nothing because they ain't rich. I didn't say they was rich, but they were predominantly white areas that I lived in. And guess what? You go to events and there's a lot of teenagers. Fights break out, even when it's a lot of white teenagers. It's not something that's just 100% black people and white people don't do it. I like to point that out because some people are so hard on black people. Again, I'm not saying it's cool, like, hey, teens, go, fight, be merry. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it happens. It's been happening forever. Do we want to shut down our events because fights break out or because people start running? They had security there, according to one of the ladies, and there were police there, and there were adults there. Sometimes you're just like, hey, we need to figure out how to manage the teens. We know, going in, teens are going to show up. Let's engage with them, watch them, whatever. But we have to figure out how to manage the teens because they're not always going to be ruly. Especially nowadays. Jerica says there weren't fights where she went. Okay. All your little Christian groups, I'll give you that. When me and all the little Christian teens went to Christian camp, fights didn't break out. Okay, I'll give you that. They didn't. So you're right. You with all your little Christian friends. And I'm not saying that to diminish Christians, but okay. Okay. Black Lions say want their parents with them, but they don't want to be with their parents. They don't want to be with their parents. And again, that's reasonable to me. I didn't want to be with my parents when I was a teenager. I wanted to be with my friends and act wild. Will say, I ain't gonna hold y'all. When I was a teen, we was banging. But, I mean, for real, that's just the way it... Again, I'm not saying that's good. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's not a reason to be talking about shutting stuff down. What else? Oh, there was something else. There was something else that I wanted to talk about. I can't think of it right now. There was another topic. Oh, well, I don't see her here. But I wanted to clown Shahira for a minute. But she's not here. So I'm not going to clown her because she's not here. But I'll give y'all a preview. Yesterday I was watching Lincoln Ware show. And Shahira, Doug came on and he had on some of his club gear. And, Shahira was like, oh, I didn't know he was a Q. And I was like, you really like those clubs? And she got offended and started calling me names and stuff like that. And then later on, she mentioned how me calling those clubs is offensive. I have an answer to that. But I'll wait until one day she's here so she can hear the answer. But if you're offended because somebody calls your club a club, something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. But I'll wait until she's here, and then we'll deal with that. But that's just a little bit of a preview. All right. 513-717-KING, 513-717-5464. There was something else, but I can't think of what it is. Terry says, I was wondering what happened. Jacqueline says, I went skating a lot and there were fights every weekend. You hear that? You hear that, Jerica? You hear that? Brett says, are you on early or are you doing a Jeffries filibuster continuation from yesterday? I don't know what that means. Steban says fraternities and sororities. Yes, they're clubs. That's it. They just clubs. I'm not against them. You can join a club if you want to join a club. And you can love your club. And don't be offended if somebody say you in a club when you're in a club. That's silly to me. That's silly. Like when you call, I don't like that name, Twins gang a gang and he got mad. Right. Everybody wanted this special characterization of their... It's not a gang, it's an organization. It's a gang, bro. It's a gang. I never got I know I'm backing up, just thinking about it. Number one, I never owned a Swatch watch. My mama would never buy me one because she just didn't get it, and I didn't get it. But because I was a follower for a minute, because everybody was wearing one, I wanted one. And she was like, you got a watch. I'm like, but it ain't a Swatch watch. And she was like, do it tell time. I was like, yeah, but it ain't a Swatch watch. Do it tell time. Yeah. I had a red one and a blue watch. She was like, it's even colorful. I was like, yeah. She was like, nah, you know that particular brand of watch because everybody else got one. If you want to get one, you go get a job, you save your money, and you buy yourself one. I'm not doing that. That was the end of that. That was the end of that. And when I got a job, I didn't want to spend my money on no Swatch watch. I had a watch, and it told time. I had other things that I wanted to do with my money. And I never had an opportunity to go to the Fresh Fest. Not even once. Crystal says, I went skating a lot as well. I can't say there was a fight every weekend, but there were fights. Okay. How was everybody's Juneteenth? I had a nice celebration. Went over my mother-in-law's, and she got like 6 or 10 acres or something like that. And, we went out and just enjoyed ourselves, celebrating Juneteenth. I was a little disappointed because my understanding was we're going to go there's a part of the property where basically she's kind of created, or family members have created a shooting range. And I thought we was all going to go take our guns and let some off, just do some shooting. And nobody brought their guns. Nobody brought their guns for the purpose of shooting. I was a little disappointed. Pamela says, 10 acres. Where does she live? Not in the city of Cincinnati. It's outside the city. I'm not going to tell you where she lives. Her address is this. No, I'm not going to tell you that. But yeah, she got, I think, about 10 acres. Yeah. Big, nice, big. And a lot of it is wooded property. And so it's walking trails and all of that kind of stuff through it. Yeah, it's a nice property. But no, it's not inside of the city of Cincinnati. It's outside of the city of Cincinnati. Yeah. Hold on. Okay. Did you bring your gun? Yeah, of course. What else was I going to shoot? Any fruit trees on the property? Apples, peaches, or pears? Be honest, I don't know. I'm sure there are, but I've never paid any attention. So I can't say with 100% certainty, yes, but I would imagine all them trees and all that property, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. I know she got like chickens and, whatnot. And she be concerned because the coyotes, she be like, oh, they gonna try to get my chickens. So, yeah. Shannon, I'm not telling y'all where. I'm not telling y'all where. So y'all can hunt my mother-in-law down? No, I'm not telling y'all. I'm not telling y'all that. What? Why do y'all want to know that? Oh, why do y'all want to know that? But no, I had a good time yesterday. I hope everybody else did. Somebody said they were at the Urban League and it was okay. Well, good. I got nothing against any of these organizations out here doing stuff. I support the Urban League. I like Christy. You know, what I know of her, she's a good lady. She's a smart lady. She cares about people. She cares about the community. And yeah. So I support her. I'm glad that she leads the Urban League. And, you know, that's it. I don't have anything bad to say about the Urban League or Christie. Nothing. Just curious, my daughter lives in College Hill, and a few doors up from their house, there was a plum tree on the green strip. It was loaded with plums last year. Okay. All right. Victoria says, we might need to know where FEMA camps are at. Yeah, no. I told y'all, everybody got guns. When the FEMA camps, that's where we going to be, and it's going to be well guarded. Oh, that made me laugh, Victoria. And Victoria, I wasn't necessarily earlier. That lady, Lincoln had already told her what you told her. And I was like, that lady is clearly distraught. She need help. And I was so shocked that nobody called in to say, look, if you're having issues with, this adult care system, here is somewhere where you might be able to go to get help. That's one of the beautiful things about the Lincoln Ware Show is that people do that and people help other people. And, you might think your little bit of advice is nothing, but people don't know stuff. And trust me, when you reaching out to Lincoln, you're desperate. It's unlike the last thing that people need to hear is, oh, you wrong. And then somebody else saying, oh, you were wrong. And then somebody else like, oh, you were wrong. Like, I need help. I don't need to be told how wrong I am. So I didn't necessarily think that you meant it that way. When I say that stuff, I'm saying it hopefully so that people think about it when they do it. Because I had to remind myself of that sometimes too. I had to remind myself of that too. Jerica says there isn't anywhere to send anyone for help if they have an APS case. I don't know about it, but you don't think having some legal assistance would be helpful? So if you got an APS case, there's just nothing you can do. Just sit there and take it. Nothing. Like, get some legal representation, and here is somebody who represents people in that, as they're dealing with these things. Maybe get a legal opinion. I mean, not legal, a medical opinion or something. Jerica says, other than a lawyer, maybe. Well, then that would be somewhere to go. That's somewhere to send someone. You can't say there's nowhere to send anyone and then say, well, except here. And maybe someone knows a lawyer who deals with, or has dealt with that system before. I don't know anything about the system, but again, that's one of the beautiful things. So many people have a little bit of information, and your little bit of information might help me. And so I always like it when people call in or, send messages and they're like, hey, have you tried this? Even if they tried it, I'm saying, you're trying to help people. So, yeah. Janice says, the lady says she was seeking legal representation, which would be a great time for somebody to say, well, John Smith handles cases like that all the time. Give him a call. 221 Smith. That's what I'm saying. So to say, well, somebody said they seeking legal representation, they don't need no help. Oh, trust me, when I was trying to sue Fifth Third Bank, I would have loved it for someone to say, here is someone who would be willing to sue Fifth Third Bank. Because I went to a number of different attorneys who just were not willing to take the case. Okay, well, take this little bit of information. Maybe it'll help you. Stop being a chaos agent. I keep telling you, I am not a chaos agent. I am the director of chaos. It's not some agent. People, I know you weren't trying to do it. People are always trying to shame somebody, and I will not be shamed for who I am. So when I've been called a chaos agent, I lean into it. Because if being a chaos agent is asking questions of authority, then I'll be a chaos agent. I mean, we need chaos agents. Victoria said, we good on that. I was trying to help, but she had a lot going on. I'll be praying for her. Thank you. I'm glad we good on it because we good. I never thought we wasn't, and I'm glad that we not. Or I'm glad that we are. But yeah, no, I lean into it. You're a chaos agent. Well, I'm a chaos agent because I asked why they shoot that dude that was unarmed in the head. That make me a chaos agent? I'll be that. I'm a chaos agent because I don't believe people should be, calling us the N-word. I'll be that. So yeah, nah, man, none of these people, you can't shame me for who I am. I know who I am, and I know why I am the way that I am. Tanika says, hey, man, did you just say love did us? Did I? I don't know. Did I say love did us? I can't say that I recall saying that. I think you made that up. I reject that I said that. Genesis, that's why you need to get into a position of leadership. I keep telling you, I don't have the what am I the word I'm thinking of? Because you don't like it when I say kissing butt. But I don't have that. Dwayne says, man, people say that because they heard someone else say it. I don't even think a lot of them know what it means. I remember hearing the Joker say it on The Dark Knight. He said he was a chaos agent. E-man for council. Oh, I could never get elected. I don't think I could ever get elected. I don't have a platform. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the advisors around me. Because if I was going to do something like that, I want to do it right. So I need people to, because again, I realize that I don't know everything. It's just a whole lot of stuff I don't know. So I realize I don't know everything. And so I would need to put teams of people around me who know everything. Somebody who can advise me economically, explain stuff to me. Somebody who could advise me in terms of, law enforcement, explain stuff to me. I need to know all the rules. I need to know all the laws. And again, I don't know them, but I need people around me who know them, who, when I'm trying to help the city flourish, who would be like, I got this idea, right? We don't do this. And they could be like, that don't make no sense. What do you mean? It make perfect sense. No, it don't make no sense because this is how that work. So you approaching it like it worked like this, but that's not how it worked. This is how it worked. Like, oh, that's how it worked? Well, hold on. You know what I'm trying to accomplish? Help me craft a plan so that we can make that happen. And to do stuff like that, you need, goodwill with people. I have a lot of goodwill with people because I'm one of them people. And you have to be a special type of person to be all right with me. And this is the type of person you had to be. We have to be allowed to be honest with each other. One of the things I like about Jerica, because she keep taunting me in the chat. One of the things I like about Jerica has said some things to me that I didn't like. She don't mind openly criticizing me. When she think I'm wrong, she don't mind saying that's wrong. If I say something that she think is stupid, she don't mind saying, Emanuel, that's stupid. And I'm not offended. Like, we don't fall out over it. I'm like, why is that stupid? When I say things to her when she wrong, which feel a lot of times, when I say stuff to her and she wrong, she say stuff like, I don't like you right now. And I know that mean, I don't like what you said to me. I don't like that you're making sense counter to my thoughts and or opinions. At least that's the way I take it, But we still cool. I have to be able to criticize you just openly and bluntly. And you have to be able to criticize me openly and bluntly. And, people say, oh, Emanuel like to argue. I don't know that Emanuel like to argue. Emanuel like conversations where we're exchanging thoughts and ideas, and hopefully I'm learning something. And maybe I'm teaching something. Not teaching, but you know what I'm saying? You get something out of what I'm saying. That's what Emanuel like. And a lot of people don't like that. Oh, he said something to me I didn't like and we fell out. Why are we falling out? So yeah, no, I'm not that material. Plus, I'm one of them people who just say what I think. And that is definitely not good politician material. Plus, I'm not pro-cop. As they say, I'm pro-good cop, which means, and city council? Really? Can you get on city council saying, if police do something illegal, they should go to jail for twice as much time as a normal citizen should go to jail for if they do the same thing. Because they've sworn to uphold the law. So when they break it, they got to be held to a higher standard. Hey, people not electing that person. People should elect that person. By the way, it's not just police. It's, anybody who has sworn to uphold the law or the Constitution or whatever. If you don't do what you say you're gonna do or what you're supposed to do, your punishment shouldn't be the same as anybody else who do the same thing. Shouldn't be. Oh, and Mika Owens. I know that talking about public servants who didn't do what they're supposed to do, which is, I'm not talking about Mika Owens, I'm talking about Judge Marsh. I thought what Mika said yesterday was telling. You know, she was on for just a few minutes, and Lincoln brought up, did you hear about, and said, oh, yeah, I heard about that. But Judge Marsh took care of that. What? I know a lot of people don't understand this, but that is so inappropriate. That is super inappropriate. The judge shouldn't be taking care of your problems for you. The judge should just be following the law. That's why people do what they do and think they can get away with anything. Because somebody gonna take care of it for them. Maybe, and this is me, maybe the appropriate answer to something like that is, yeah, I heard about it. I don't think there's any merit to it, but let it go through the system. I'm not concerned about it because I haven't done anything wrong. Not, yeah, the judge took care of that for me. What? And people heard that like, oh yeah, she told them. I'm like, oh my God. And then y'all wonder how we get a Trump. When we celebrate public servants who don't do what they supposed to do. That's what they doing. Like Trump ain't doing what he's supposed to do. And they celebrate it like, oh yeah, that's my guy. I'm like, and people celebrating that stuff. Everybody should be, like, for real, everybody should be, whether you like, because again, I got nothing against Mika Owens. I don't know what happened. I ain't looked at no public records to see no bribe. I didn't like the fact that she appointed Evan Nolan, but, it was her appointment to make. And I'm not anti-Mika Owens. I probably won't vote for her because, you know what I'm saying, you gave away the black majority. But that's my own personal thing. So I'm not like, oh, I'm against me. But the judge handled that for me. And I mean, for real, that's only partly on, in my opinion, only partly on Mika. Because I understand the tendency, like if I ain't did nothing wrong, or I don't feel like I've done anything wrong, and then somebody filed charges against me, and there's somebody in a position, and they're like, man, we ain't even entertaining this. And I'm like, yeah, they looked out for me. I appreciate them looking out for me. I'm probably not going to think that was inappropriate for them to say that. They should have just done their job. So it's only slightly on her, but it's so much more on the judge. It's so much more on the judge. I mean, it's wild. And again, I'm going to say it, I guess, one more time. That people are supporting bad behavior. Because they don't like the person that the bad behavior is being done to. I've been guilty of that. I have. But then I try to look back, you know what I'm saying, even in those moments, and I try to look at it and Really, I try to think, what if it was me? What if it was me? What if I was the one who went down there and felt like I had a valid complaint and I followed the appropriate process to file my complaint or whatever, and the judge calls Lincoln Ware on the phone while I'm in the courtroom to laugh at me? Why? How would I feel? Pamela says, it's the gym shoes for me. Ma'am, you're over 30 years old. Wear a comfortable flat if you have bad feet, but gym shoes are not professional. Oh, I don't agree with that. I don't see nothing wrong with it. I don't judge people I try not to judge people based on what they wear. Like, she could wear pink every day, all day, with pink gym shoes. I don't care. That's got... To me, now I get, Pamela, you said for you, different people have different standards that they hold people to. I don't have a problem with, especially you're out and about at a festival. I don't have a problem with a city council person wearing gym shoes at a festival. I don't really have a problem with a city council person wearing gym shoes on city council. Excuse me. I don't have a problem with that. It's footwear. You know, nowadays, excuse me, y'all. Hold on. I'm going to finish that up. But if I don't remember, remind me to talk about COVID. But nowadays, people wear suits like in professional environments. People wear suits with gym shoes on. The days of, professional is you have to have on a 3-piece suit. Your vest has to be, and then you have to have on a tie, and you have to have a pocket square, and you have to have on some Florshams or however you pronounce those shoes. And, you have to have a hat and a briefcase, the hard square kind. And that's long gone. In many professional environments, ties are optional. A lot of times, it's a lot more casual. And yeah, people wear gym shoes. Again, Pamela, I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't have a problem with her wearing gym shoes. I don't have a problem with it at all. Because that's how people do nowadays. Coronavirus. Yo, I think I had coronavirus. There's a new coronavirus out. Let's see if I can. There's a new coronavirus out that make your throat hurt. It's not funny. I don't even know why I'm laughing. There's a new variant of the coronavirus. Oh, come on. I think it's important that people know this. Is it Nimbus? Yeah. And they're calling it, they say you get a razor blade throat. Let's see if I can pull it up. California faces new COVID-19 threat from subvariant Nimbus, causing severe throat pain and raising concerns among health officials. Yeah. There's a subvariant NB1.8.1, or Nimbus, as they're calling it, is on the rise and carries symptoms of razor blade throat, which implies that those affected experience throat pains equivalent with having shards of glass stuck in their throat. The spread of the subvariant in other countries as well has raised concerns among the medical community and the general public. I think I had that. See, I don't always tell y'all, but my throat, when I came home from Superfest, I felt really lethargic And I chalk some of it up to, I did a lot of, 5 o'clock in the morning, up till 5 o'clock in the morning, and then had to be back at the venue by 7 and all of that kind of stuff. So I thought, man, I'm just really tired and lethargic. And, I had a little bit of body aches and stuff like that. But there were a number of things that I attributed that to. But then out of nowhere, my throat started hurting so bad. I had to tell Mrs. Livingston, check my throat. Because she knows stuff. She knows stuff. I had to check my throat. My throat hurt so bad. And I think initially she thought I was kidding. But I was like, no, for real. Feel my glands, be gentle because it hurts really bad. Even just to touch, it hurts really bad. And look down my throat and see if, is it really red and inflamed or anything? Tell me, something. And she was like, I don't feel nothing, your glands don't feel swollen or anything like that. And, try to look down my throat and try to use a tongue depressor. I don't do well with those. So I almost threw up on her. And then, okay, I'll go. My throat was so sore. It's better now. It's still just a little sore. Now it just feels like a normal sore throat. But, yeah, I think I might have had COVID. The nimble. It's nimbus, but I'm trying to think of what my older people going to call it. I think they're going to call it the nimba. The nimba. I might have had the nimba COVID. And a number of those artists did come in from, the West Coast. They artists. They be all over the place. And I had to, be up personal with every artist. So somebody might have gave me the Nimbakovic. It's Nimbus, by the way. It's a new variant. So just be aware. Now, they suggest that, people, stay up on their vaccines. Y'all know why I'm not doing the vaccine thing. Staban say, feel your glands. Who says that? I do. And she knew what to do. She got the feeling around in there. I don't feel nothing swollen. She knew what to do. Jeannie says, hold up. Severe throat pain. Emanuel, did you have an acute respiratory infection? I think I had the Nimbakovic. Because it wasn't just the throat. It was so much more. Vitamin D, E-Man. I don't know. The vitamin D is going to stop you from getting the Nimbakovic. I don't know for sure that it will. But I know I'm not taking that vaccine. Ron, right. I try to eat a little healthy. And taking my vitamins. But I'm not taking that vaccine. Not taking it. Anthony, no, I'm not taking that vaccine. Now, I feel like I probably had the Nimbakovic, and I'm probably okay. My natural immunity, my royal antibodies, is doing what they do. Tanika says, I've never had COVID because I keep my vitamin D up. Daryl, you ain't got no sense. Daryl's talking about vitamin D to the throat. Y'all forget I'm sophomoric. And sometimes when people talk about vitamin D, they're actually talking about something different, Tanika. But she's actually talking about vitamin D. Oh. What degree of COVID are you at now? Oh, I don't know. I didn't get that one checked out. I had initially, I had 17th degree COVID, but Daryl, that's not funny. It is not funny. That is not what Tanika is talking about. Oh boy. Something is wrong with y'all. Emanuel, not being funny, but why are you still not vaccinated? I can understand you initially wanted to wait, but why still hold out? I still don't trust it. People won't say it. And somebody gonna get mad at me for saying this, but I believe a number of people died due to that vaccine, but they not gonna say it. People who were otherwise healthy, who got that vaccine, just dropped dead of a heart attack. I personally believe, with no evidence, that it's possible that one of our former callers fell victim to the vaccine. And that's why he died of a heart attack in his sleep. Because he was otherwise a healthy person. Now, they won't say, oh, this person died of a heart attack due to complications from the coronavirus vaccine. They won't say that. But a lot of people dropped dead of heart attacks around that time when all these people was getting vaccines. I don't think they did enough testing. Yeah, come on, y'all watch all of these commercials for all of these drugs, and they'll tell you what all of the side effects are. They'll tell you what all the side effects are. What are the side effects of that coronavirus vaccine? Come on, there's got to be some. What are they? I think one of them is dropping dead of a heart attack. And I don't trust it, and I don't need it. I don't trust it, and I don't need it. Yes, Linda. Yes. Linda says, would that be Glenn? I personally believe that that's what happened. I can't prove it. I don't have any proof. I know Glenn was working out and all of that stuff because I was mocking him for wearing an ascot at the gym. He wasn't actually wearing an ascot, but it did look like it in one of the pictures. So I was mocking him for wearing an ascot at the gym. He was working out. He was relatively healthy. Again, Daryl, I'm not saying that I know for sure, but a lot of people died of heart attacks. And they were, oh, so-and-so died of a heart attack. And was he vaccinated? Well, that had nothing to do with it. Right. Maybe. Maybe not. But what are the side effects? There's one drug out there. Where this has very little to do with that. This is about side effects. And there are some of these drugs that, like Mary says, the side effects are worse than whatever the illness is. And there's one of these drugs out there. I wish I could remember which one it was. Where they like, okay, you can take this, But, and I'm not making this up. It sounds like something somebody would make up. But it says the area between your genitals and your anus will like swell up and be painful and what? And I'm like, what? What? Wait, did y'all just, and I think they said it like 3 times in the commercial. So I'm like, this is really ain't that what we used to call, or at least the older people used to call the taint? Your taint is going to be all effed up if you take this medicine. And I don't remember what it's for, but I'm like, I don't think I want to take no medicine where the area between my anus and my genitals is going to be effed up. But it's on the commercial, and I guess they had to say it. You know what that means? That means, they actually did testing. Jardian, I don't think it's Jardians. I don't think it's Jardians. Forxiga, is that what it is? That mean they was doing testing. They was giving people this drug. And people were coming back and reporting, like, my taint hurt. You know what I'm saying? Just out of, like, I don't remember what the drug is for. I don't. But, like, I can breathe. You know what I'm saying? My sinuses are cleared up. But, ooh, my taint hurt. And they like, well, let me look at it. And look at the taint. Like, oh, shit. Damn. Well, maybe you doing something else. Like, nah, I ain't doing nothing. I'm taking it. I can breathe. But my taint hurt. And then a lot of people came in like, yeah, I can breathe, but ain't the area between my anus and my genitals hurt so bad. To the point where they had to be like, okay, we got to tell people that this might F up your tank. It's crazy. But is it? Tria said, yeah, I laugh every time I hear it. It's an actual commercial. I didn't make it up. And they say that. And every time I hear it, I'm like, why are people taking this medicine? And again, I don't remember what the medicine is for. I don't remember what the medicine is for. But it's real. I didn't make it up. I promise y'all I didn't make that up. CK.
Yeah, brother. How you doing, sir?
CK, I'm doing good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing good. I got paid today, man. So I'm a little elated. I'm elated that I got a paycheck today, sir.
Okay, well, what's on your mind?
Like you said, that part is so true about the experiments. It was afternoon experiments, midnight experiments, but like you said, that was what was coming back with the patients for them to put that on the brochure and the commercials, right?
Yeah.
They was coming back and they was like, what in the world is doing? And like you said, the first person, they doubted them. They said, what are you out here doing? And then they seen it on multiple patients, and that's when they got scared.
And again, they say it on the commercial like 3 different times. So it ain't just like, this probably ain't going to happen. If you have to keep repeating it, if you taking this, your tank going to be effed up.
Right. That's the scary part we have to deal with right there. But just imagine what you have to be doing to be willing to take that side effect. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the constant ringing in your ears. It's constant, man. So I just want a little relief, right? Just a little relief. But the relief comes with, what you call it? What is it called? Anal shoot damage? What is, like you said, we just know the description. The word is so traumatizing, we cannot even remember it.
Did you say anal shoot?
Yeah, what is the thing called? They talking about that swell up. We don't know the name.
I've never heard of an anal shoot before.
No. So I'm saying to deal with the constant, get the ranginess out, I'm going to deal with the anal swell shoot. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Do you want to deal with the ringing or the? But like you said, you trade one uncomfortability for another huge uncomfortability. That's why you said who would take that? You like who want that side effect? That's what you're saying, right?
Well, I mean, people, and like you said, it all depends on what you're dealing with. And, is that willing? Are you willing to trade that, for the possibility of that?
Yes, because the only reason you do that is when that's what you're living for, to do that. That's what you're in it for, is to stop that pain. Like, you just living like, I just want to beat this. I want to beat this. You know that? That's why people go through chemotherapy. It's very painful, sir. I talk to people that went through it. Very painful. But sometimes they happy they went through it. And sometimes. Not all the time.
Okay.
And but your first topic, that's why I apologize for calling your platform so early, but
that's all right.
Only reason I called was because you talked about my favorite subject in the world, and I'm a professional at it, the art of asking.
Oh.
Yes, I'm talking about. You ever feel embarrassed for somebody else?
No.
I'm that. I do it so good where they be like, come on now, just stop. Because when I approach, my first words to you is look at God. And then if you read my comments, look at the comments. I have mastered that art, sir. I have mastered it because I tell everybody in your comment section, you are everything I am not. Hello. All right. You see what I'm saying? So I have mastered the art of doing
Do you ever tell your aide hello from us?
My aide? You said age?
Aide. Your helper.
What you want me to tell them, man?
Huh?
What want me to tell them?
What?
No, I don't really know. Those be colleagues, they love me because, like I said, I'm so good at kissing ass. It's like I'm gonna butter you up. I tell everybody that I would be on the Mount Rushmore of that if that was a category. I would be Mount Rushmore. I'm talking about one of the best you ever seen at it. You hear me?
Okay.
People get disgusted at how good I do it.
All right, but you're telling us to say what?
To say that it is a benefit. It gets you far in life.
I've seen it. It can very much. It can get you far in life. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So don't speak against it. Now I understand you not being with that. You said you're not going to do that to get an interview.
Nah, for whatever reason, I don't have that in me. I don't have that in me.
That's not who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's all about the part of the manipulation and everything. It's about getting somebody on your team. Hello, how you doing? Well, if my people said hello, see, I told them for you.
All right.
So yes, that's the thing I'm talking about right there. If you can master that, it could get you far because it's about teamwork makes the dream work. It's about alliances. These people that you are doing that to can put you in position financially and educationally. You see what I'm saying? They can put you like in scholarships. But I do understand you saying that's just not part of your DNA. That's not part of your makeup.
Right. And I'm not against people who do it. I'm to some degree, I'm a little bit fascinated by the people who do it. Because I don't.
You are right.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. That was just somebody walking by, brother.
Okay. Is she giving you your medicine?
No. You said you're fascinated by people like myself, but you got to think I am the best at it because I studied people before me that was good at it.
Well, I mean, I don't know how good you are at it if, you have all of the issues that you have. If all of the issues that you have kind of say to me that you might not be as good at it as you think you are, because if you were as good at it as you think you are, you might be in a better position. Or maybe you
Oh,
kissing the wrong behinds.
oh, whoa, Livingston, that's a hell of an allegation. I'm living my best life over here in Cincinnati, Ohio, sir. You're talking about a guy that has died, came back, got on his feet, got his driver's license, got his apartment after eviction, working, just got paid today. Where is I'm going wrong? I think, hey, it's looking good on this side. You acting like I'm failing.
What?
I was
No.
failing 2 years ago.
No, I'm not saying that you failing, but if you are a butt kissing machine like you say you are, then you know what I'm saying? You should be at the top of the company. Like, you shouldn't be like, hey, I got paid today. You should be like, yeah, I'm paid. Like, what you talking about?
Hey, all right, okay, but I'm only 3 years old, sir. Remember, I died in 2022, September 18th, man. I'm just doing good. I'm a black man too, man. Come on, man. Gee, some of this stuff is survival. You know what I mean? You gotta understand, some of this stuff is survival, sir. Don't forget about the penitentiary and the murder rate, sir.
But I think the level of good that you're doing, and that's not to diminish what you're doing, but the level of good that you're doing, you could accomplish that and not kiss any behind.
Well, that's a fascinating statement. But I mean, you got to think, being a Mount Rushmore of it, I enjoy it. It tastes good.
Okay.
You said butt kissing machine. Let me use that. BKO. Yes, I enjoy it because it puts me, and it's about manipulation, about getting people on your side. Like you said, I might not mean the things I say, but I ain't trying to get the brain cell. I'm trying to get you. You know what I mean? It's a big game of pimping going on. So
All
we
right.
can't always do it straight up and down. You know what I mean?
If you say
I mean,
so.
you saying you more straight up and down, no special effect.
Right.
You're straight up and down guy. I got you. That's respectable, though. That's respectable, bro. But I just wanted to share that with your audience and yourself, and just get your perspective on the butt kissing machine, BKU. I just wanted to hear how you felt about talking to somebody like that. Thank you, baby.
CK, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, brother.
All right. That was CK. Extolling the virtues of kissing butt. And again, I'm not, I'm saying, if you are one of those people, you probably don't consider it kissing butt. You just, whatever you consider it. You do what you got to do. I'm not judging you. Shahira says, hi, guys. Didn't think he'd be on today. Just saw a notification for the show. Happy Friday. Hope you had a good Juneteenth. She's present, representing Bond Hill. I have something for you, Shahira. I have something for you. We had the little back and forth yesterday about these clubs. And you expressed to me that it's offensive to call them clubs. And, somehow I said that, and thus that made you call me ignorant. And that made me call you stupid. And all of that kind of stuff. But I don't want to have that misunderstanding ever again. So here's what I thought I would do. Look up the definition of a club. And tell me if your sorority fits in this definition. A club, by definition, is an association or organization dedicated to a particular interest or activities, and they may or may not meet periodically. That's it. Here's another definition. An association of persons for some common object, usually jointly supported and meeting periodically. Does your organization meet that definition? Does it fall within that definition? Because I don't want to be offensive. I mean, I called it a club, but I think it's an association of persons for some common object or objective that's jointly supported by those persons And they may meet periodically. Am I off base there? Does your sorority not fit in that? If it does, it's a club. It's a club. And that shouldn't be offensive for a club of educated people to be called a club. So I'm just curious, does your organization fit within that definition? If so, you should never again be offended if someone calls it a club, because that's what it is. The fact that he keeps going on and on and on about this tells me there's a deeper history of resentment involved in this. And I can't help that. How is it resentful to call a club a club? That's not the resentment came from you when someone called your club a club. You became offended. It's just, it'd be different if I'd have been like, that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I just said it was a club. How is that express any level of resentment? I've told this story before, I believe. I almost pledged one of those clubs. But then I thought about it, like, why am I joining this club? I was in clubs when I was a little kid. I'm cool. It was one of those things where I wanted to be, you know what I'm saying? I was hanging out with these guys, and I was like, hey, I like these guys. They pretty cool. And, you know what I'm saying? Be some decent parties and whatnot. But then I was like, nah, I'm cool. And then we just all remain cool. How is that resentment? Because your club is a club. See, here's what I think happens. Brent, I'm coming to you. Here's what I think happens. People in these clubs feel this, like they're better than other people. And that, you know, if you're not in this club, you're not as good as we are. You couldn't get in. And they don't realize it's just a club. And a lot of us is like, it ain't no big deal. It's a club. So what? You in a club, he in a club, she in a club, they in a club. That's it. Shahira says, no, because you keep going on and on and on about this. Like, why? Because you can't seem to understand that you in a club. That's why. In the comment that started this, I was commenting on something, not to deal with him at all. And here he comes in talking about, you sure do love them clubs. And I'm like, why? Because you do. You love them clubs. You do. You do. You see one of them clubs, you're like, ooh, a club member. Ooh, a club member. And I'll be like, that's interesting. The level of love and dedication that you have to club members who are in the same type of club as you. I just think it's interesting. And so I pointed it out because that was the only thing that you said about it. Like, not, oh, I agree with what he said. Or, you know, he's a wise guy. Or I don't agree with him. Or, oh, he a part of the club. I'm like, you really do love them clubs. And then you got offended and start calling me names. That's why. That was it. Will says some, not all are like that. I agree. Did I say all? Some of them are like that. Some of them realize, I joined a club. I made some friendships that might last the rest of my life in this club. And it's all good. Some people, man, they live their life on that stuff. I'm in this club. I just think it's funny for the people who do. Just think it's funny. Brent,
Oh, man, you caught me in the middle of trying to process one of these reports. How are you doing, E-Man?
Brent, I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm fine. By your definition, or by the definition that you read, I totally hear you, but I'm not telling Nino Brown and G Money and the Dudder Man that the CMB was a club. So, hey, they want to call it Cash Money Brothers, an organization. I'm going to let them call it what they call it.
A gang is a gang. A club is a club. It is what it is. It's not offensive to call a club a club.
Yeah, and I know some folks in fraternities and sororities that they take it way over the top, and there is that air of, dare I say, arrogance that's with them being affiliated with their organization. But then there are others where you wouldn't even know they were in that organization unless you just happened in their house and all of a sudden like, oh, well, you just wouldn't know. And there are some people who get into fraternities and sororities and they change, and then there's others that get into those fraternities and sororities, and if anything else, they help change that organization, at least that local chapter. But yeah, but I'll leave that one there. You were talking about perineum swelling for some. How did you even get on that? Where did that come from?
Talking about all these side effects of these drugs, and I remember seeing that commercial a number of times, and every time I saw it, I was like, ooh. Yes.
If you have the sugar, that's diabetes. And you are on something called Jardiance or Invokana, Farxiga, or Stelgalarto. You might develop something called Fournier's gangrene, which sounds horrible. So yeah. But I do remember those commercials, and I'm like, whoa, what? So yes, I was there with you on that one. But yeah, but if that's a side effect of the drug, it's like, doc, you have something else. Can I take a baby aspirin or something else? I don't think I want to risk that.
Right.
But yeah,
But
hold on.
But just so you know, by the way, Jardiance is not the drug though, where they say at least 3 times in the commercial about taint. That's not Jardiance.
I think it's Farxiga. Farxiga, Farxiga. I think that's the one.
I don't. What is that one for? Do you know?
Oh, it's all the same family of drug. They call them SGLT2 inhibitors. So it's a family of drugs that are, like, I guess, well, they're in that family.
Okay.
So yeah, but they're all in the same. Like you have, different variants of like painkillers, and they're all like derivatives of it because they have the chemical name of it, but I'm not going to even try to butcher that. I'm gonna leave that there. But Pat's call on Lincoln's show was confusing. She was all over the place, and it did seem like a little misguided anger, and not understanding, the collaborative and everything. So, that's what I saw Victoria just trying to get that cleared up, because Lincoln sometimes isn't as convincing. And he did say it after she got off the phone that, I don't think that's what the collaborative is there for. So she added a little bit more to it. But Lincoln is not the call of last resort. And I'm surprised you don't know this. There's 2 people you can call when you're at your last resort. B.A. Baracus. He going to pull up in that black and red van, and he's going to get the rest of the A-team, and they're going to get it figured out. Or you could call Queen Latifah, as the equalizer. So those are the people you call when you have no other choice.
Both of them have been canceled.
Or you can call Denzel Washington. His is more believable. I saw a few episodes of it. I'm like, no, I'm thinking UNITY. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I never saw a single episode of that show, just because it just didn't seem interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Her as some sort of an action kind of character, it don't feel believable.
Yeah, and the movie Proud Mary that starred, I can't think of the actress name, but she was in the fake Terrence Howard's movie, where she was I don't know what you call the bottom lady, but she was singing the hook. But she was like an action hero, and I don't even know the premise of the movie, but the ladies in the chat, they may know the movie I'm talking about. And I saw the previews to that and everything. I'm like, man, I just don't believe it. But so 2 last minor things.
All right.
Father's Day gift. Now, how old is little baby again?
Little baby is 7.
7. Okay, so she's right there on the borderline of macaroni art that's could or could not be acceptable. Did she give you macaroni art for Father's Day?
She did not give me anything. Well, technically, I guess her and her mama gave me a gift thing to go get a nice massage and something else.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now that's unacceptable. That was from your daughter. So next time you see her, you got to catch her with an RKO out of nowhere. You just got to do it. Just for the principality. Tell her next time she can bring a card, and when you open that card, something better fall out of it. It can be $1. It could be $100. It could be a 50-cent off coupon, for some stale ginger snaps. But it got to be something.
She might have chipped in on the gift certificate.
Okay.
She might have chipped in her $1 on the gift certificate.
Okay.
So
well,
I'll
you got to confirm that. Yeah, and if she said no, grandfather, catch her right then and there. but
no, we're supposed to be going up to Cedar Point one day next week. So yeah, we'll get it in there.
Okay. Oh yeah, and for Father's Day, my son got me 2 gifts. Well, it's technically 3, but I don't call it a gift if the money is coming out of my wallet to pay for it, because they got me in dinner and everything, and that's my credit card. I'm like, okay, But Saturday they took me to a place down here. It's called the Boot Barn, and it's nothing but boots and Cowboys hats. So after 13 years of living in Texas, I finally had my first pair of cowboy boots.
You like them?
Yeah, I actually had a choice, because normally in larger sizes, they have, not many selection. They had a bunch of boots. I didn't realize how many boots, dress boots and work boots and everything, that they got the flag integrated into it. American flag, red, white, and blue, or, the brown, the various colors. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. But I found a pair of black boots that are nice enough to where I could wear them with dress pants, or I could wear them with with jeans.
Okay.
So it's taken some getting used to it, because even with dress shoes, there's a little bit of heel on it, but these boots got a little bit higher heels. So I don't know how ladies be doing them 3 and 4 inch heels, but it took me a little bit to get my legs underneath me, and looked like I was about to go wrestle a steer. Walking
Are they comfortable? But I've always wanted. I see cowboy boots, and I always want. Are they comfortable?
You got to break them in. At least the ones I got. You can't I think with the ones that I got, you're not supposed to put any like cushions inside of them. They have some that are like the work style boots where you can put the cushions in it, but these aren't. So I started off wearing them for a few hours and took them off, and then I wore them all day yesterday. So it was like 3 days, and then the third day was the first day I wore it all day at work and everything. So, but you just have to break them in, is what they're telling me. So I'm, giving it a shot, trying to break it in, and they're saying they want to give me a 10-gallon hat. I'm like, I got a baseball hat head, not a 10-gallon hat head, but we'll see. We'll see if that's what they want to do.
Well, somebody said you got to post a picture of you with your boots on the ground.
Okay. It will just be a picture. It will not be a video dancing like Uncle Lincoln. So I know my limitations. So you're not going to find anything of me dancing.
All right.
But yeah. But the other thing was a request. That every time I tell them, I'm like, look, when all else fails, give me some money or get me the, Transformer toy, more than meets the eye. But this time I made a request specifically to get me a Jacob Fatu shirt. So I got the one that's black with red on it that says all gas and no brakes.
Okay.
So
Okay,
yeah,
that's
I'm like,
nice.
there you go.
Yeah.
You listen to Dad. It only cost you what, $20, $25 or whatever it was. So I'm letting you off cheap, but that's what I want. Don't get me stuff I don't want on the days that you're supposed to get me what I want. So,
All right.
but yeah, and the last thing, LaDonna, short harassment report. Did you see the injury to Liv Morgan?
I did.
At first, I thought it looked like she had, hurt her elbow, but
Yeah.
they're saying it's shoulder injury that she's going to be out for 6 months and it's going to require surgery.
Yeah. Talking about a
because it
freak
just
accident. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was basically like a drop toe hold, and she goes down with both forearms down, and she just grabs her arm, and so the riders are going to have to scramble, and maybe they're going to accelerate this whole thing with the other girl from NXT who's been trying to scoop up Dom from her.
Yeah, and
Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, they kind of had a lot going for her, so they were really banking on her, doing a lot of things. So yeah.
Yeah. What they should do is they should put like I said, I can't think of the girl, in a tag team with Big Back Rodriguez. And you still allow them to keep the title, but to keep that tension going on for a little bit longer, get them through SummerSlam and, then have some mess happen from there.
Yeah.
But that's all I got. And for the rest of you fathers, if your children didn't get you nothing, they don't love you. My sons love me.
All right, Brent.
All right. Hey, you take it. Of course, jokes. Y'all know that. You take it easy and have a good weekend.
All right. All right. That was Brent. Yeah, I'm about to get out of here. I got to go to this celebration of life and do what I do. But everybody, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your day. And if you can, I always say it, I always mean it too. Give somebody a call. Every once in a while I ask something specific, and y'all don't do it, but y'all really should. Give some, hold on, before I told the little baby the last week of school, because I'm trying to prepare her to just do acts of kindness to people. And I told her, every day when you go to school, say something nice to someone. Not just like, hi, how you doing, whatever. But if you see somebody with a new hairstyle, tell them, I really like your hair. That looks nice. See somebody, just say something nice to somebody. Be intentional and say something nice to somebody every day. And she says that she remembered to do it the first day, but then she forgot to do it the next, 2 or 3. But then she remembered to do it on the last day of school. So I'm working on her because I want her, as well as you guys, to be the reason that somebody smiles. So I want y'all to call somebody that you haven't talked to in a while and just tell them what they mean to you. Just tell them what they mean to you. If somebody inspired you, you know what I'm saying? You watch somebody, they were a lawyer, and it made you want to be a lawyer, and so you became a lawyer. You might have told them 1,000,000 times. Call them and tell them. You inspired me. The reason I'm a lawyer is because of you. I never thought I wanted to get married, but then I saw your marriage, and the marriage that I saw between you and your husband inspired me, and that's what made me decide to get married. I just wanted to let you know, you know what I'm saying, you played a part in my life. You inspired me. So that's what I'm hoping everybody will do. I want that to be sometime over this weekend, because we're coming up on the weekend. Sometime over this weekend, reach out to somebody who inspired you and tell them. They might not know. Reach out to them and tell them. That should make them smile. So Be the reason that somebody smiles this weekend. Until next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.